Today we will talk a little bit about expansiveness and feeling our feelings. But I do want to share that I was working this weekend and it was work I really love and wanted to do. It was some acting, so I was very glad for that. And I'm also very glad to be here at this meditation. And I do feel a little bit more mellow. I'm tired from working over the weekend, so this is not going to be a deep dive or really complex trying to understand things right now. Just go with noticing what is happening in the present. That's our main task. So, with that, just continue to feel the position your body is in and get a sense of your balance within that position. So again, that might mean making some little adjustments to get more comfortable. You don't ever need to have a very rigid posture that you're holding or struggling to keep in place. You want to feel a nice balance of feeling relaxed and at ease, but also a little bit alert. So, that said, we will begin for today. I'm Juniper, writer, actor, freelance nun, and I love doing these drop-in meditations so that we can just come together for this activity that so often is done alone, apart from others and society. But I've just found so much power in practicing together as a peer or when I've been a student, and also as a teacher. There's nothing like a group to really enhance the enjoyment and the learning. So I'm going to continue to be doing these drop-in meditations and at different times during the week so that it can work for different schedules. But for now, I would like us to look at what is the present moment. Ooh, yeah, it can be a little nerve-wracking. Typically, or it's very easy to get into habits of keeping right now at arm's distance. And by that, I mean having our attention in memories of the past, trying to control the future, scattered all over. It's so easy to get tangled up. You know it, I'm bringing our favorite prop out. The tangled knots we can get into with our inner turmoil and confusion and just feeling bad for so long, seemingly forever. It can be so easy to get turned upside down inside. And I want to use another visual example to help show us why that is. And this also points us to what we'll be looking at today and how we'll be practicing. I dropped a prop. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. See, it's so tiny. It's easy to drop. So I'll also explain these objects. I have two objects. One is a little acorn that, yes, is so tiny it can be dropped. This other, well, probably has some official name, but it's a spiky plastic ball that if you pull one end, the other end also gets bigger. So as we are beginning our meditation practice, which realistically is the first few years of practice, what can really be challenging is when we look inside and notice, ooh, the feel bad is like this ball, and every time I look at it, it expands and it's kind of spiky. I don't like that. And then any part of you that might also be feeling good at the same time is as tiny as this acorn. And what we're trying to do is balance our attention and hold both more or less equally. I'm speaking tentatively because I like these visual examples. It seems impossible. How could we balance these two, or do we feel the same about them? How does that work? And this is why I like this little ball, because, I mean, long story short, I said this was going to be light on exposition. The act of noticing what is and being honest about all the different kinds of feelings, the different amount of size and weight they take up within us compared to other feelings. This noticing and looking at and being with is what enlarges our sphere of awareness, our sphere of tolerance for different feelings. And so I don't have the mechanics of this trick quite down, but there becomes a little switcheroo where this ball of expansion is actually what feels good. You're surrounded in peace. And the tricky, difficult entanglement parts have become as small as an acorn that are just held. It's just one possibility in a sphere of many possibilities. So you can pay attention to it. There are times that you really need to pay attention to a pain that is as tiny as this, that is pointing to some larger issue. But it's paradoxical, it's confusing, and realistically, as mammals, we have to be honest. When we're looking inside and the bad feels worse than the good, it's hard. Our attention just gets sucked up in the bad and just entangles and expands, and that's all we can see. And okay, we're going to do our best to just be present. And it's April Fool's, so there might be some strange underhanded feelings afoot, or spooky energies even. We don't need to get overwhelmed or fascinated. Just an openness to look at, what am I feeling? What kind of thoughts are present right now? Is there any way to find balance if there's contradictory feelings? So, as usual, it's actually easier to do than to teach or understand. So we'll just go ahead and practice this. And then we will have time for some questions after. So if it's not completely clear, that's okay. Again, it's April Fool's. If you want, you could even adopt a purposefully silly attitude that it's like you're learning to juggle. And as you can imagine, it might be hard to juggle two extremely different size and textured feelings or thoughts. But I don't know, the fool, the magician, they can learn to juggle these different weights and objects. So it can be light, it can be fun. And if by chance there is something stronger coming up, just do what you need to take care of yourself. You're not required to go deep today. So again, let's bring our attention to the position our body is in, noticing if that's comfortable and alert. And if you're not quite sure if it's a comfortable position for you, you can just gently move back and forth or forward and backward, maybe a little bit like a buoy on the ocean. Just very, very, very small movements. Noticing if there's any change in how your body feels, or your breathing. And again, you never have to hold a posture, and you certainly do not have to hold an uncomfortable posture. But it's just nice to explore potential within a smaller range of motion and just be sure that we are in the most comfortable, alert position we can be in right now. And as always, your eyes can be open or closed. If they're open and you're in a place where you can do so, I recommend you keep a soft gaze or look down. Just give your eyes a little bit of rest from intentional focus. And now just bring your attention to your breathing. Notice what it's like right now. And just see if you can let it be easier, whatever that means to you. Certain muscles can get in the habit of trying to help breathing or create breathing. But that's more of a tension pattern, a tension response. For example, we don't really need our neck muscles that much to breathe. So just gently let your attention rest on the full experience of the in and out breath. And just keep an open mind and open question. Could this be easier? And it's okay if that's not quite clear or you sense it could feel more easeful, but physically there isn't so much of a response to that. Just curious, just open-minded. For the rest of the session today, let's just keep that as a touch point. If you ever get turned around, unclear, just return your attention to your breathing and let it be as is for a few breaths before you ask yourself, could this be lighter? Could this be more easeful? I know today, this is a shorter meditation, so we're really just going to see what's present and on the surface, asking to be noticed. So if you continue to bring your attention to your physical body, you can try feeling it as a whole. So maybe you feel width, how wide you are. Maybe you have a sense of front and back, or like the outline of your body. It doesn't need to be crystal clear or perfect. You're just trying to feel as much of your body as you can. And then notice if there are obvious places of tension and obvious places of neutral or even feel good. And there are different ways to do this. You could scan your attention from head to toe. You could keep a free floating open awareness and just wait to see what shows up. But again, you're just getting the snapshot right now. How is the physicality of your body? And if there are any long-standing or known tense areas or just some parts of the body that could use some TLC, you're familiar with that discomfort, perhaps having spent time there a considerable lengths of time. Do your best to see if you can find a neutrality that you feel somewhere else in your body. So sometimes the hands can be a nice place, feeling what your hands are resting on. And just notice if there is a push-pull with your attention, with some feelings getting a lot of attention or attention swinging back and forth. That's exactly what we're here to notice. So that's not a problem to notice that. We're going to transition to looking in with our emotions. And now again, there may be obvious emotions that are right there on the surface or that have been present for a while now. So there's a familiarity there, perhaps. But I again encourage open-mindedness. Maybe you can imagine expanding the sphere, trying to see what else might be hidden in plain sight, perhaps. So you're just turning your attention to potential emotions that might be there right now. It's also okay if you're looking and there just are not emotions. You're just they're going to keep an open mind, perhaps waiting for something to show up. And if you are having some different feelings, and maybe it's confusing if they're physical or emotional, again, you can, like we used with our visual aids, the acorn and the expanding ball, you can try to put an image to it, a texture, a different weight. Do what you can to, again, just get familiar with what is happening right now and how much space is each feeling taking up. And it's perfectly okay if it's unclear. We're not necessarily trying to get to a detailed or specific answer. It's the looking that's important. And now you can just check in with your breathing, noticing how that is for a few breaths. And then again, just invite release in the breathing process, or you might think of it as openness, expansion. Just with that open mind, curiosity, can some part of me do less right now? Just allow breathing. And if that's feeling good and relaxing, you can just keep your attention there for a bit. Some people don't always find, or it can be a challenge to find relaxation in the breath. That's okay. I say that because I have had that challenge for many years. It's perfectly okay to bring your attention right now to where you're making contact with what is under you and just really feel into that connection. Noticing, again, your balance, maybe details like texture, what you can feel under you. You might also get a sense of, or be curious to explore if your relationship to gravity, if you're resting on something or being held up. We have just a few more minutes left. This is the part where we get to choose your own adventure. I love that part. If you just want to take it easy, relax, and you are feeling something pleasant in your breathing or body, or at least something neutral or grounding, feel free to keep your attention there. And if you'd like, you could try keeping part of your attention in that grounding or positive feeling, even if it's as small as an acorn or the size of your thumbnail. And just with an open gaze, curiosity, bring your attention to your thinking mind. And maybe just keep an open mind and wait to see if thoughts come up, what kind of thoughts come up. And more than the content of the particular thought, see if you notice how it affects you. And you can use your imagination. You can ascribe textures to thoughts, or weight, or personality. We're just exploring some tools to, again, help us get present and see what is. What is happening? That's the first step to untangling our inner turmoil, that messy ball of strings. We need to see what all is going in there, what all is going on inside, and what our thoughts are doing, what our breath is doing, and how we're feeling, whether that's emotions or physical. Sometimes it's very difficult to tell the difference between the two. That's okay. We'll come back together in a minute. Just again, enjoy any pleasant or grounding feelings in your breathing or body. And just for one last minute here, again, maybe through imagination or feelings or visuals, maybe think of your sphere, yourself, enlarging a little bit. It could be just a few millimeters, could be infinity, anything in between. And again, just see if you notice dynamic activity inside, movement, different feelings, different thoughts, different textures. Is it possible to feel more than one thing at once? And keep a level head about it. Stay grounded. That is the challenge. So maybe you're in a groove, feels like you're juggling 10 balls. You're noticing many different thoughts and feelings that you can balance. Maybe it's been a struggle to just recognize that there might be 2 or 3 balls that you need to juggle or learn to juggle. Whatever you noticed was what is here right now. That is what there is to be noticed. So nothing else could have been noticed. So we are at time now, and just do what you need to come back to the rest of the day. My words are stumbling here a little bit. And as always, you do have the option to just continue meditating in a more formal way, or have the intention to take any feelings that you discovered or insights, an intention that you had. Just pause for a moment, actually, and just imagine bringing that through your day. And again, all kinds of experiences are possible. So if today was a bit of a challenge or a struggle, your determination to get through that and be at this meditation, that kind of determination could be the feeling that you want to move forward more than the messy stuff that you noticed. So again, just think about bringing something positive forward. I'll just come out and say it. It's April Fool's, but we don't have to be all messy and upside down. We can make decisions to notice and appreciate what is naturally feeling good, what feels good when we pause to look a little deeper and notice. And just even spending a few moments picturing ourselves in another part of the day or the week, trying to reconnect with that feeling or again, intention. This is how we bring our meditation practice from the cushion into daily life and into actually receiving benefits. It's to do the practices in life outside of meditations like these. But it's a step-by-step process, and I'm so glad you came here today. This is the first step to getting clear, to getting peaceful. And as I mentioned, I'm looking forward to doing more guided meditations, also Q&A sessions. I'll be developing classes that will be live and also then recorded and able to be self-paced. So a lot of good experiences and content is going to continue to be developed this year. And yeah, it's just a real treat for me to come on and lead a meditation and just focus on peace with some people. So thank you all so much. And